Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Janet Phelan and I report George Floyd, America Burning on the Republic Broadcasting Network. The truth lives here. You can call into the show live and ask a question. Get involved at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. Okay, Janet, where would you like to start?
Oh, well, there's so many angles to look at all this. I think my concerns are focusing around some of the official response to the rioting. And would you like to say something first about how extensive the rioting is now, Frank?
Well, the rioting is, I've got reports from LA, I've got reports obviously from Minneapolis, I've got reports from Boston, all over the country. There are riots, New York as well. They are not only burning police cars, they are torching businesses, torching regular passenger cars. I have never seen anything like this. This makes the 60s and 70s riots look like a sandbox game.
Yes. I'm getting input from contacts in different parts of the country. I just heard from someone in LA that she thinks the National Guard is there now. Of course, curfews are being instituted in many different places as well. I'm a bit concerned personally about some of the efforts to make political currency out of this situation, particularly the finger pointing that is turning out to possibly be erroneous. There have been a lot of public officials who are stating that these rioters are outside agitators who are coming in. Actually, Alex Jones went so far as to say that these are the riots are being spurred on by the Chinese communists. In fact, when I began to look at those claims, it appeared that a lot of the mayors who had initially said these are all outside agitators were forced to eat their words because the arrest records are showing that these are mostly locals.
Right.
Not people crossing state lines. In addition, President Trump has indicated that he believes this is Antifa. He wants to declare Antifa to be a terrorist organization, which has prompted an awful lot of other commentary. I've got some of it here. Essentially, Antifa can't be apparently declared a terrorist organization because there are no domestic terrorism laws. Isn't that interesting? The terrorism laws focus on foreign organizations, not on domestic organizations, number one. Number two, Antifa is not an organization in any traditional sense, as it is. It's more like a movement. It doesn't have a hierarchy. It doesn't have, a CEO, a president, a list of board members. It's just, it's more like a movement. So there have been a lot of objections to the idea of declaring it a terrorist organization. Also, there are concerns about First Amendment, possible repercussions in trying to declare Antifa to be a terrorist organization. and simply to try to delineate that this is a leftist, outside, radical communist plot may not be a fair and accurate way of delineating, describing what's happening. What do you think, Frank?
It's my opinion that this is all homegrown, and people have had enough of police acting in this fashion. They have had it, and this is how they're showing it. And people across the country are showing the way they feel about policemen putting their hands on people and hurting them.
Yes, I tend to agree with you. There's been some other disinformation. I was listening to Alex Jones, his broadcast on May 30th, where he said that police are being killed in these riots, and I haven't found. I've done a thorough search, including police records, because the police do list those who are who die in the line of duty, and there have been no police listed as dying in the line of duty concerning these riots.
Well, we have one.
Oh, really? Tell me about
Yes,
it.
we have one in California. He is a celebrated, decorated police officer, and he was shot and killed.
I didn't see that on the official listing. So,
yeah, I heard it. I just heard it right from President Trump.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just all about fact checking these days because, we're in a state of sort of muted hysteria, I think, in the country for a lot of different, not so muted anymore, for a lot of different reasons. And I think that people are making mistakes in their reporting, and sometimes, as in the case of Alex Jones, it's not a mistake. It almost seemed to me that that some of these proclamations are intended to divert the attention away from the grave situation going on in the country, not only economically, since the country's been on lockdown, but also in terms of human rights in general, police abuse in general, racism in general. There are a lot of problems, and I think that you're correct, Frank, in saying that people have had enough. In case you don't know, I'm also a police assault survivor. I was assaulted by Long Beach police officers on January 3rd of 2003, and I was in a hospital and in a coma for several days. So this subject matter is something that I have personal experience with. There was no justice for what happened to me.
Okay,
there was
no
justice. The circumstances were surrounding the sudden, massive attention by authorities that I was enduring and being afflicted with surrounding the events that were happening to my mother. And actually, this is one of the primary focuses of my 2014 book, Exile. It was the circumstances surrounding her are what got me watch listed. The circumstances surrounding her are what forced me to flee the country. And at that point in time, the police decided that they were going to, who knows what their real intent was. I was in a coma for several days. I didn't get to chat with them about it. But I'm assuming that it wasn't the assault on me was not intended to be something that I survived. So, when I watched the video of George Floyd, and I was specifically watching the nonverbal behavior by the officer who was kneeling on his neck and murdering him, the officer seemed to be completely detached from any connection with what he was doing. He could very well have been kneeling in his flower garden, pulling up weeds. There was no emotion that seemed to be flickering across his face. He seemed to have absolutely nothing on his mind. He was just kneeling on somebody's neck and killing him.
Janet?
Yes.
It's my belief that I looked at the expression on his face, his overall demeanor.
Yeah.
He had his left hand in his pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine his right hand was on the handcuffs, which were already on George. And it's my opinion that he was on drugs or some kind of sedative, because he was all laid back and, he was like Magnum Force. He thought he was really doing the community a service. And I thought that to myself, when I watched that he should be executed along with his partner, because his partner was effectively keeping people from pulling the officer off of Mr. Floyd. So
Correct.
I'd like to see them both executed. That's my wish.
Yeah, I'm not a proponent of executions myself. I think that some people should simply be locked up for the rest of their lives. I'm personally and somewhat morally uncomfortable with a position of killing anybody for any reason. But I think that some people are such a real public hazard that they need to be put into a cage for the rest of their lives. And I think that both of these officers should be. Now, the officer, Eric, is it pronounced Chauvin? I'm not sure. Who actually,
I believe so.
Who actually was kneeling on George Floyd's neck, suffocating him. He has been arrested and charged with third-degree murder. Third degree. Okay, now that bothered the heck out of me, and I did look up third-degree murder. Here, let me just pull this up here, and I'm not sure that this applies. Here, okay, third-degree murder. Quote: by perpetrating an act eminently dangerous to others and evincing a depraved mind without regard for life and without intent to kill. That's what they're charging him with.
Intent to kill?
Without intent to kill.
Okay,
he's acting dangerously. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. Does third-degree murder, is this a federal statute you're looking at, or is because
this is a Minnesota state statute.
Okay, all right. Well, that is not applicable at all.
Yeah, he's being charged with third-degree murder and with manslaughter, which we know is the lowest legal culpability for taking someone's life. And I'm very concerned that the state is bending over backwards to accommodate the police officer. The other officers, I don't believe they've been arrested and charged. They've all been fired. The one who was protecting Chauvin as he was kneeling on George Floyd's neck, at one point, I believe in the video that I watched, he went for his, what was it, mace, because somebody was going to be rushing the situation in
Yes.
order to assist George Floyd. So he actually was threatening somebody who was trying to save George Floyd's life. I think that they should actually both be charged with first-degree murder instead of
That's my
something.
feeling. I don't understand. Clearly, now that that statute has been explained, it should be first degree. There was an intent there. If not first, at least second.
Yes, according to what I researched about this third-degree murder law as it applies to police officers, is that police officers are generally, who are convicted under this law, have been given 12 and a half years in prison, as opposed to more severe penalties under first and second degree. So,
right. They have categorically put a stain on the badge of every police officer in the United States, and they make me sick. They really do. They make me sick, the two of them. The short one fending people off while the other one takes Mr. Floyd's life.
Well, there's also should be concerns voiced about the prosecutors who are affixing this as the charge. I believe that if you or I murdered someone in broad daylight with all this video evidence, that we wouldn't be accommodated so nicely by the prosecutors. I don't believe we'd be charged with third-degree murder under similar circumstances. I believe the prosecutors are bending over backwards to accommodate these officers, and I would like to ask why that would be. It does appear that in the case of former Officer Chauvin, that he was reported multiple times for excessive force and brutality, and the DA's declined to prosecute. There's been an issue that has come up concerning Amy Klobuchar, who may be up for the vice presidential candidate slot on Joe Biden's ticket. Because apparently,
Janet, we are coming up on a commercial. We'll be right back, folks. And Richard from North Carolina will join us. Thank you.
As a listener of RBN, you're surely concerned about being informed and being ready for whatever may come. Please consider the following questionnaire as a soul-jarring wake-up call. If you answer no to more than two of these following questions, you probably aren't going to make it through any major disruption in our country. The questions were compiled by people that have been there. Are you really ready? Do you own your own firearm for the primary defense and protection of you and your loved ones? Have you ever been professionally trained to stand against life-threatening behavior? Have you ever practiced enough to fire 500 rounds during a 2 to 4 day time frame, day and night? Can you load, unload, fire, and clear a jam in total darkness? Have all the adults in your household been professionally trained? Are you, life and death, comfortable with your abilities with pistol, revolver, shotgun, and rifle? Are you aware that everything that you do to prepare for an emergency is a waste of time, money, and energy? If you haven't honed your abilities to their highest level to protect and keep what you have, Do you have the repair parts that will most likely be needed for each of your firearm, and do you have the ability to install those parts? Could you completely clean every firearm you own? Are you aware that your body won't go where your mind hasn't been? In other words, without proper training, followed by regular practice, you probably will not win a gunfight. Well, how did you measure up? Take the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to start correcting your deficiencies by receiving your Commander Lifetime Membership with Front Sight Firearms Training Facility. A one-time donation to RBN for $500 will give you a Commander Lifetime Membership at Front Sight as a tremendously huge thank you bonus. See details on RBN's webpage to make it happen. The clock is ticking. You had better be ready before it happens.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3.
Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Janet Phelan and I report George Floyd, America Burning, on the Republic Broadcasting Network, where the truth lives. Okay, we have Richard from North Carolina. He would like to ask us a question. Go ahead, Richard.
Well, more of a comment. Thank you, guys, for having me on. I just wanted to say briefly, yesterday has not been a very good day for this country. And I don't think everyone has quite got their minds wrapped around the big picture yet. This is not about race. This is not about location or age or many, many things, rich or poor. This is not about who decided this or who decided that. This has been going on for years. We as targets should be aware of that, and the dirty deeds are continuing in this country. It's almost a shame to me to have these people all of a sudden that are out here doing the protesting to be called protesters, because in fact they're out there doing what we as TIs have been talking about, some way to make awareness to the rest of the country about what's happening to us, some way to make them aware. And these guys are out there making people aware that something's wrong. People are being murdered by the cops, by the government, by the stalkers, by the perps, whatever you want to call them. But we've lost many of people we've lost. And I promise not to get wound up and go on, but we've got to open our eyes a little bit wider and our minds a little bit wider. Things are happening that we can't even see or even speak of right now. And kind of like the TI community, some of it we choose not to identify with and not to accept or not to believe. But you can hurry up and believe, quoting my grandfather, hurry up and believe that this is just a start for something new. And they're activating not only active duty military, but non-active duty and all National Guard across this whole country as we speak. And then on the other side of the fence, we've got militia all over the country that are activating too and recruiting as hard as they can go. The gentleman on Fox News said it the right way. We got to remember and make sure who our enemy is and what our intent is, because the last man standing is going to be the guy that calls the shots. And the people that call the shots are going to lead this world in a different direction, if not lucky enough to be the same. And it's upon us. And there's no way to get around that. So, welcome to the new normal, I think is the way everybody's been putting it.
Yes, this is getting too typical for us. What do you think, Janet?
Well, I think there are problems on a number of fronts, and I think there is abuse and human rights and civil rights issues that are appearing in a number of different, discrete, and possibly entirely different arenas. I personally think that the United States has a profound history of racism, not only in its treatment of Black people, not only in its treatment of its indigenous populations. I'm sure it won't come to a surprise to the listening audience to know that the United States refused to expand its immigration quotas and allow Jews fleeing Nazi Germany to enter. Yes?
We're coming up on the bottom of the hour. Station identification. Thank you so much for listening.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new Ease Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry, because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows, too. Ease Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Extend your life with Extendovite. Extendivite really works. Here are some reviews from Amazon.com. Nikki, great product. Have to try it for a few months to see results. After taking Extendivite for about 6 months, I have noticed improvement on the numbness of my hands and wrists from carpal tunnel. I will continue to buy the product. Ken Peaks, 5 out of 5 stars. Works as advertised. This formula is very powerful. Be careful to follow directions. I am feeling much better. My heart rate and blood pressure has stabilized and my lower edema has reduced. Lower leg pain due to blood clots has disappeared. Thank you. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed the newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
The newspaper? Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, a majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper does not give out the important attention on what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
Good evening once again from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Janet Phelan and I report George Floyd, America Burning on the Republic Broadcasting Network. The truth lives here. Call into the show live and ask a question. Get involved at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. Okay, Janet, I believe you were speaking.
Thank you, Frank. I was just trying to make the point that racism has a compelling history in the U.S. And I'd mentioned, of course, the treatment by the United States government and parties there too of people of color, of indigenous people, and was also mentioning the fact that under FDR, the United States refused to lift their immigration quotas for Jewish people during Hitler's reign of terror, and refused to allow Jews to find refuge in the U.S. But that was not even limited to the U.S. There were some international conferences, such as the Evian Conference, where world leaders got together, and basically there were two such conferences, and the outcome both times was, gee, too bad, we just can't take these people in. So there is really a very part of the secret history of the world, I believe, is really a history of profound racial politics that are very often disguised because they're unacceptable. And as we enter the modern age, which I believe we're supposed to be in now, they become even more unacceptable. And another group that has been faring very badly under what I call a master race agenda is the elderly. And we're seeing looting going on every single day in probate courts across the country. Looting of an elderly person's estate when that person is put under an adult guardianship. Now, these pictures that we're getting on the news of people burning and looting Target and Starbucks and all those places, the looting going on in probate courts is not nearly as visually compelling, but anybody who looks, who scrutinizes the activities going on, lawyers such as Tony Agabrotton in Palm Desert, California, regularly produce for the court accountings of what she has been doing with the money that she has been pledged to protect. And the accountings are the most ridiculous con job. I mean, money is so obviously being stolen, and the judges just bat their little eyelashes and pound their gavels, and they basically endorse the looting. So I think there are problems on so many different fronts in the U.S. The TI issue is one, racism is another, the court corruption is another, the generally known police abuse issues. It's very rare that a police officer who murders a U.S. citizen gets anything more than a slap on the hand. Very rare. The fact that what happened to George Floyd was captured on camera and that there is now such a pronounced reaction to it has ensured that the officer gets charged with third-degree murder. Come on now. So, we have a system in place that has many different vectors for abusing the citizens. And I think that it's possible that the strength of the outrage and of the reaction to what happened to Mr. Floyd has a lot of those tributaries going into it. Of course, added to the situation that now people don't have jobs, they're getting hungry, they're getting worried. So it's a tinderbox.
Certainly is. This whole nation has been a tinderbox for quite some time. We've been living under lockdown because of this deadly virus now since what? Early March? And this is June 1st. People are tired of that. And yes, they are tired in general of what's going on in this country. But what happened to George Floyd could have happened to me. It could have happened to you. It could have happened to anyone who crossed this one particular policeman's path. I think that this gentleman is a psychopath. That's what I think. And I use the term gentleman very loosely. He should be, I don't know, it's possibly the psychological screening has deteriorated in the police academies. But they should do a very deep psychological background study of an individual before he is put in charge of other people's lives. Do you agree with that, Janet?
I believe that certain occupations attract brutes and attract connivers and scam artists too. I think that the police, by the very nature of what police do, they don't attract the sensitive, caring soul. They attract people who like to exert power over others. I think similarly, the profession of law, and this is certainly not true of every lawyer, but it tends to attract smart people who want to learn how to work the angles, which are sometimes called sociopaths. Okay, and in fact, lawyers, the trajectory for a career for a really successful lawyer would, of course, be to end up in Congress or as a president. Of course, most presidents have been lawyers, and I think that profession attracts sociopaths. So that there are certain character dynamics that go into the situation that create the distinct possibility of an individual like Derek Chauvin to emerge and to start brutalizing people. That's what I think, personally. I'd like to bring something up concerning riots, because there have now been riots in a place called Venustiano Carranza, which is in the state of Chiapas in Mexico, that have nothing to do with George Floyd. I'm going to read the first paragraph of an article that appeared in Mexico News Daily just a couple of days ago. Hundreds of people took to the street in Venustiano Carranza, Chiapas, on Wednesday night after rumors spread on social media that the government was trying to kill them. Okay, and this has to do with the coronavirus. And apparently, there was a report that somebody had shot down a drone, and the drone was loaded with chemical weapons. And this is in rural. So when we talk about the U.S. being a tinderbox, I think that this COVID crisis and the lockdown has affected people everywhere in some very strange ways. You can't even shake hands with people. You can't have your face is hidden when you go outside. I mean, suddenly we're in a situation now that is so abnormal, and of course people losing their jobs and having economic concerns. I think it's something like 10 million people in the U.S. It was either people or families are saying they don't know if they'll be able to feed their families next month. This is a crisis of simply incredible proportions. And I think that people are taking to the streets, whether it's because they think the government is going to kill them with the coronavirus or a drone, or because the government killed a black man. A representative of the government killed a black man by kneeling on his neck. I think people are just simply.
Did we lose you, Janet?
Did you hear me?
Yes.
I finished talking.
You drifted off, though.
Oh, I said what I said about people being panicked.
Yes.
Yeah, I finished my sentence. So.
Okay, I agree with people being panicked. People are being panicked. They are panicked in general. They are on the edge. They are living in what would be psychological preparedness mode and preparing to head into survival mode if they haven't gone there already. This scares some people more than others, just the COVID-19. Now, many who see these fires and who see this carrying on and people being killed, this scares them even more. So I don't think there is any government plot behind this. I think this is a terrible, terrible occurrence in a country where people have had enough already. Yes. And by the way, there was also a woman shot and killed, I believe. I think that would be Minneapolis. I don't believe she was.
There have been several. There have been several protesters killed so far.
Yeah.
Yes. So the remedy, according to President Trump, is going to be apparently to call in the military or call in the National Guard and quell the riots. What do you think about that, Frank?
Well, I saw the result of some of it this evening on a very late breaking video that was posted. And there were what I would consider SWAT teams walking down the street, and they were yelling and screaming for everyone to get in their homes. And there were a couple of women, I guess, standing on a porch, just watching. And they said, get in the house. And apparently they didn't move fast enough. So one guy said, light them up. And then they broke out in gunfire towards this house. And this woman is saying, get in, get in, get in, to everybody that was outside. Get in, get in. So they finally got in and locked the door. But the police were adamant. They wanted everyone in their houses. And if you're not in your house, you're in serious trouble. So I think that the National Guard or our armed forces or both will be taking the same protocol towards people who are outside after curfew. And during the daytime, I think everyone is going to stay in as well. That's what's going to happen. Where this is going to lead, I really don't like. This could lead to directly to martial law all over the country with the president's wish. And at this point in time, you've got so many cities in flames, it would not surprise me. What do you think of that, Jenna?
I don't know, Frank. I'm watching all of this happen, and it's like, I feel like somewhere a few months ago I woke up and it was in the morning and it was a different world. It was a world full of fear, a world full of misinformation, a world full of people shaming other people because they didn't believe that masks were going to protect them from a virus which is looking less and less like it's even, well, that's a whole other story. Something very serious is happening in the globe, and people are reacting very emotionally to this, and in some cases violently. But I'm not sure that sending in the strong arm is going to change the situation or fix it at all. I just don't know.
Okay, we have a commercial coming up shortly, probably in about 30 seconds. But I just wanted to voice my opinion that it's not out of the way for a foreign power to send a radio frequency down from a satellite to upend the population. And it's possible. It's been done in Iraq. Okay, we're going to commercial. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Did you know that you can be tracked and traced when you're online? With identity theft and cybercrimes on the rise, your passwords, your identity, and even your physical location can be revealed to complete strangers. Would you like to surf the internet anonymously and not have to worry about these threats? Well, now you can by visiting patriotinternet.com. For about $2 per month, patriotinternet.com will conceal your IP address and your physical location, allowing you to browse the web, send emails, and instant message anonymously. patriotinternet.com will bypass filters, block sites, and keyword blocking. You can also bypass logging by your router and your ISP. With patriotinternet.com, there is no software to install and uses 128-bit encryption for your protection. When using wireless hotspots, patriotinternet.com shields your information from identity thieves and is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Protect your identity and your freedom with anonymous internet access from patriotinternet.com. Visit patriotinternet.com today.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
This is too good to be true, except this time it is real. 100%. No joke. How about a $25,000 membership to Front Sight Firearms Training Facility as a thank you bonus for a one-time donation to RBN of only $500? It is a Commander lifetime membership with no yearly fees or dues. The training is free for the rest of your life with over 50 different classes. Then leave it to your designated beneficiary. You provide the approved firearm, holster, ammo, eye, and ear protection. Many features and bonuses are included, more than you would ever expect or believe. This is the ultimate graduation present, wedding gift, etc., etc. See the details. Go to RBN's webpage and frontsight.com to make it happen. You will hear this offer only on this radio network. Help keep RBN alive. Tell 5.
Good evening, once again from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight we have been discussing George Floyd and America burning. Janet Phelan and myself have taken it apart as much as we can in the course of 45 minutes, we'll say, and I guess what we need are some closing statements. Go ahead, Janet.
Well, I would like to say that I think America, the constitutional republic called the United States of America, has been burning for a long time. And that one of the first things that burned up was the Bill of Rights. And we're seeing this play out, as we had discussed briefly before, not only in the targeting issue where Americans are being brutally tortured, not only in racist policies that have evidenced themselves throughout the history of the United States, not only in corrupt court proceedings, not only in the near exoneration, or at least as close as they could get, given the fact that this all happened on video, of a detached police officer murdering a U.S. citizen in broad daylight. all of this is America burning. And the fact that people are taking to the streets and now they're just overwhelmed by all this, I think. So if America is burning, I'd say America's been burning for a long time. And until these issues are addressed and some level of an equal playing field is restored, I think that things are not going to be okay at all.
No, very good, Janet. I'd like to say that the spirit of the Constitution lives in us all. The first 10 amendments live in us all. They still exist. They are still in power. And we must not let anyone tear them asunder. Although they try, we cannot let them do that. Fundamental rights, written at the very beginning. I'd like to say thank you very much, Janet. God bless you all. Let's pray for a peaceful ending. Good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen.
Thank you, Frank. Good night.
Is the Second Amendment your line in the sand? Is the United States Constitution important to you? Are you worried about gun confiscation? You need to join us for free at gunconfiscation.com. At gunconfiscation.com, you will meet like-minded patriots, get the latest Second Amendment news, and find anything you need to prepare for gun confiscation. Visit gunconfiscation.com today. That's gunconfiscation.com. Which side are you on?
Talk Right, the conservative app offered by TalkStream Live that caters exclusively to the conservative talk radio community. Here you'll see only talk shows and podcasts from the conservative right. All the big broadcast names and online digital shows in one place. Talk Right makes it easy to find all your favorite conservative talkers with all the upscale features you come to expect from TalkStream Live. Keep up with the fast-paced political world. Download Talk Right today from Google Play or the App Store.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Because you can handle the truth.